Now, for more on all of this, retired Major General Randy Manor joins me. He's a former acting vice chief of the National Guard, and I certainly hope you can make sense of some of this for us. You know, you don't believe the use of the National Guard, let alone Marines, is warranted. You've argued for months, in fact, that this sets a dangerous precedent. Why?
We're actually seeing Americans turned against Americans, and that is not a part of our heritage. That is not the way we do this, and it's not what I have lived my entire life of service for, nor is it the expectations of those young Marines and those guardsmen. So it's turning it into a political demonstration, and it's very unfortunate for our guardsmen and for our Marines and others that are out there.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because many times we speak about the forces on the ground, but they themselves certainly perhaps did not expect to get involved in this. They're not necessarily trained for it. And to that point, you believe as well that the National Guard, the military, infringes not only on free speech and free assembly when this happens, but possibly states' rights as well. What are the implications of that?
Absolutely. I think that every one of your viewers needs to be very concerned in the United States, whether they live in a red county or a blue county, that we've literally got the ability of the federal government to come in and to stomp on the freedom of speech of every single American in a particular city or area. And then secondly, quite bluntly, to stomp on states' rights to be able to govern themselves and take care of their people. The governor of California and the mayor of Los Angeles has the resources to take care of this. This is a law enforcement operation, not a military operation. We have to remember that. We don't send armed soldiers against Americans. That is not the way we do business.
You know, I will get to the argument of that in a moment. I do want to point out that when it comes to states' rights, the president himself has said that states should have more rights, including he has certainly put into force the fact that they should have rights over things like abortion. Leaving that to one side, President Trump will take credit if things calm down in LA, because he believes many Americans back him, right? That they look at this, they think, why not use the National Guard? Why not use the Marines? I'm sure you have heard that sentiment even as forcefully as you are making the argument that this is not right.
It's absolutely the case that we use the right tool for the right job. The right tool for this particular job is to use the law enforcement capabilities of the town, the city, and to augment it by, again, adjacent jurisdictions, and then, of course, with the governor's office and the use of the National Guard under state control. The right tool for the right job. This is basically taking a sledgehammer to something that's very small. I mean, the president labeled the January 6th insurrection as being just a peaceful demonstration, yet there were many more thousands of people that were rioting in the District of Columbia than there were in LA. But yet this was labeled in writing. It constitutes a form of rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States. Those are completely opposite statements, and the average reader needs to understand we absolutely must hold those people accountable that are being destructive and harming people to the full extent of the law. At the same time, this is a slippery slope and a dangerous slope we are going down to use military against our own people. This is absolutely not what the intent is.
Yeah, and to your point, state and local authorities and anybody on the ground in LA will tell you this is, even in the scope of protests in LA, quite small and quite contained. Certainly something that local and state authorities can handle on their own. I do want to ask you, President Trump, again, will continue to use this rhetoric. He has for quite a while now. Do you worry about contagion? We have seen some small protests in other cities across the country.
The one thing about, I have to compare and contrast. The French have a history that whenever they don't agree with something and they're called on to strike, they will do it winter, spring, fall, and summer. They'll do it no matter what the weather is. Americans, we are fair weather protesters. What that means is, as the spring and goes into summer and so on, that you're going to see a spread of protests, not only the kind that you see there about immigration. I will predict that you're going to see marches in the next 90 days of veterans, of families, of moms and dads with children that are going to be out on the street in the next 100, well, I said 90 days, let's say 3 or 4 months. So, what are we going to do with them? Are they going to actually be confronted by the same kind of a military, literally military style reaction that would be facing them for peaceful demonstrations? We need to be very concerned about it. I know some people that are watching right now will say, I'm an alarmist. I think this is a slippery slope that we are going down, and it's extremely easy to follow what the president said. He literally said, we're going to have troops everywhere. That's very dangerous.
Okay, retired Major General Randy Manor, thanks so much. Very sobering interview. Appreciate it.